with the 10 seconds on the top left of the screen now counting down. We are about to enter the draft for our first series, our first game in our second series of the day, my bad there, between SUHAZ Esports and Team SMG.
Let the drafting phase begin with Team SMG on the blue side and SUHAZ Esports on the red side. Julian immediately banned out. I think that's respectable. Oxygen had a phenomenal start, thinking that maybe, you know, Julian might not necessarily get picked up within the first week. He proved otherwise.
And that's quite interesting as well, considering our first series of the day, Julian was only ever picked up once, and that was at the end of a full draft. So we're definitely seeing teams have different priorities in terms of their banning, which just makes the game that much more interesting. The Fanny going to be another ban from Team SMG. We do know that Box, he's recently preferring tanky / fighter junglers, so assassin pickups are not actually that much of a priority for SMG.
I hope that has changed a little bit. I really want to see Box go back to his roots, go back to those marksmen as well as assassins especially, to show off what he's got. SUHAZ Esports hovering and utilizing the time that they still have to discuss about the rest of the draft, but it looks like they're going to ban out Valentina here.
I think that's just gotta be the answer right now. All of these teams now know the terror of this hero. Team SMG was basically the only team that allowed the hero to go through the draft, not just once, but twice in an effort to combat it, and still it was not enough. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Valentina basically 100% banned for the rest of the season.
I think it's respectable, but it looks like Diggy is going to be the follow-up ban here for Team SMG, which does indicate that Akai is jumping up in priority.
Akai has always been a priority pick for Team SMG since week number 1. Box's most played hero so far. I'm pretty sure he's only played like 1 or 2 games where he wasn't on Akai throughout this whole season. So Team SMG definitely want to pick that up. Really good enabler. SUHAZ Esports, they're definitely aware of this. But is Akai a hero worth banning considering everything that's still in the pool?
Well, I mean, there's a good amount. Ling is still up for grabs. Akai is worth banning out. It looks like SUHAZ Esports have figured it out, and they are hovering over the Akai for now. Let's see what the first pick is going to be for Team SMG. Are we correct? Yes, Akai gets banned out. Team SMG, what are they going to go for? I'm hoping it's Ling.
Ling would be a pretty good shout here. It was one of Box's original heroes back when he debuted in Season 7. Since then, we haven't gotten a lot of chance to see him on it once again. So yeah, I agree with you. I do hope we get to see Box return a little bit to his assassin roots, considering that the meta is now shifting towards those higher damage heroes. But we completely forgot about this actually. The 1-1 slips through the cracks.
Yeah, 1-1 is high value, and Sasa, he's comfortable on it for sure. Now SUHAZ Esports look to respond here, and there's a number of things that they could do. They could try to go for a Phoveus if they wanted to. Usually an assassin style is the way to go. I'm seeing a Minotaur hover. I don't necessarily agree with that, but hey, we don't know what it's going to be just yet.
I think Esmeralda is a good shout out here, because giving that over the Smooth is not a good idea. But also if they lock in the Esmeralda right now, it gives Team SMG a very easy way to just draft up the Dira. They do grab the Ling for themselves and the Esme. So the Dira for SMG is on the table.
Oh, please give Smooth Diroth. I want to see how much damage he can put on that EXP lane. That'd be very exciting to see. But then again, they do have other priorities here. And now that Zyme Senpai is going to be playing this time instead of Noir, that does open up a number of options. Matilda, Selena. I mean, I would expect them to play Grok here, but hey, I'm just holding my breath.
I would love to see Zyme Senpai play Grok again. Easily the best Grok player in Season 9. But it depends on how Team SMG want to go about this. Zyme Senpai right now is sort of a renegade factor. They don't really know what is going to come out of this player, so Team SMG can easily leave him for much later into the draft to catch SUHAZ by surprise. And also because Zyme Senpai has a really big hero pool.
Masha, another pick that we didn't get to discuss too much about, doesn't really get to see play with 8 picks and 14 bans and a 62% win rate. Definitely is one of those heroes that assassins hate to deal with, because they can 100-0 you so quick, and because of the 3 health bars, it takes such a long time to cut through.
That's most likely going to be Smooth's hero as well. This is very much his style. Just give him something that can split push, pull attention away, and run into the enemy without caring too much about whether or not they'll die, simply because Masha will outlive everything. I'm kind of curious that the Lolita was picked up this early on, because we did mention Zion Senpai, I don't feel like they have to lock in the hero very early. It's possible that this is more of a deny pick from Team SMG because they know the Lolita can counter 1-1.
I think I would agree with that, right? I mean, Lolita is able to kind of block all projectiles when she drops her shield. However, SUHAZ Esports, now that they don't have these pseudo counters, they're going to go straight away with just long-range artillery with the Eve. That real-world manipulation that has costed a lot of 1-1 lives.
This is also going to definitely shift the way that Team SMG wants to draft. Right now, their only form of CC is going to be the Thunderclap from the Masha as well as the Stun from Lolita, both of which are not the most reliable ways to stop the real-world manipulation. So SUHAZ are indirectly forcing Team SMG to pick up more crowd control in their kit. But I feel like they don't mind that too much. They're going to need it to lock down the Ling anyway.
Balmond gets banned out for the side of Team SMG. They want to make sure that they can contest for these neutral objectives. They banned out the Akai previously, so now Box's hero pool is getting smaller and smaller by the second. As Team SMG, they decide to ban out the Phoveus this time, which does give a little bit of questions, right? Because again, Phoveus is able to get on top of the 1-1, eventually will scale, but 1-1, 9 out of 10 times is able to kind of kite out the Phoveus, and especially when you have Inspire, is able to essentially kill the Phoveus as soon as you have the crossbow of Tang.
So that might imply that Team SMG wants to go for another hero that has a lot of mobility, or they've taken a page out of the lesson they learned when going against Team Hawk and simply don't want to take the risk of giving the Phoveus away. Because even if 1-1 can outkite the Phoveus, that's assuming the fact that the 1-1 is already ahead. And if the Phoveus snowballs, it becomes very difficult to do the same. SUHAZ does predict the possibility of dashing though, so the Paquito is banned.
Yep, they also ban out the Natalia as well for Vince Smoke. So now, with all these bans on the table, SUHAZ Esports have been really clamping down and cramping Box's style.
Yep, it's gonna be curious to see what he goes for here. The Baxia is still open, but recently not been working out too well, so I'm also hoping that Team SMG goes for something else, considering they already have two really tanky heroes. We could actually see Box back on an assassin like Lancelot here. SUHAZ though, what is their choice going to be?
I think SUHAZ at this point, they've kind of got dedicated lanes. The question is whether they can flex a little bit, but going for a marksman isn't too bad. Carry gets locked in for the side of SUHAZ Esports. They want to make sure that they lose a lot of that value from that Masha if she uses that Thunderclap on literally anybody else except Carry.
Smart idea. Carry obviously gonna counter the Masha, as you mentioned, counters the Lolita as well. Any tanky hero will just melt to this. However, he does have to be careful because 1-1 should have a pretty alright lane against a carry, unless Vinsmoke is able to provide Abumon with a little bit of help to ensure that Sasa doesn't get off the ground.
All right, let's see how Team SMG is going to round out their composition. They're still missing a mage here. What is Hate going to play exactly? Is he going to be looking for like a Kadita to cancel out the real-world manipulation? Maybe a Lilia like we saw in week number 1. No Faramis because it got banned out. And it looks like the picks are going to be Baxia, as well as Lilia.
Man, they really did just go for the Baxia again. I'm not a fan of this. They now have 3 super tanky heroes that don't really do a lot of damage. So all of the DPS is gonna come down to the Lilia and the 1-1. And yes, this kind of strategy has worked before for teams like Red Esports. But SUHAZ has a lot of heroes that can mobilize around the battlefield, and if they're able to kite out the tankier heroes of Team SMG, there's not going to be enough protection for Sasa.
Look, if Team SMG was Red Esports, that'd be a Benedetta, straight up, not even close to a Baxia. And that would have been a lot more exciting, but I think with the Baxia, the anti-heal, especially when you're up against like 4 heroes of which you can actually make a significant impact, it's not the worst pick in the world. I just personally think it's a little boring. SUHAZ Esports, however, take a really smart pick with the Franco.
Is it smart though?
I personally think that it's good, because if you're looking to catch out 1-1 and not give her an opportunity to play the game, Franco is one of the few picks that can do exactly that. But not just that. Black Shoes, a way to stop it. easily done. 2 damage dealers can be shut down by this Franco.
But there's also a lot of heroes on Team SMG that can just walk up in front of Vinsmoke and say, hook me, I don't really care. Not to mention the Guardian's Bulwark to make it so that the hook doesn't matter at all. I'm a little bit concerned with this pickup. Yes, the Franco works when you have one big target to aim for, but when you also have 3 even more massive targets relative, it's a bit difficult to land those hooks. Hopefully it works out, because right now Team SMG are fielding a super tanky frontline lineup to make sure that 1-1 can get off those crossbow of tank stacks, while SUHAZ Esports are going for a slightly more default skirmishing style of lineup that want to control the battlefield against the tankier heroes of Team SMG.
Welcome everybody, this is going to be game number 2 in our second best of 3 series of the day. It's going to be Team SMG on the blue side and SUHAZ Esports on the red side.
I'm interested to see how this will go, but we are definitely seeing that Abumon's gonna get a lot of help here with Vinsmoke, but is...
Oh wow.
What? He's still... What is Vinsmoke doing here?
He's taking a terrible... Abumon's taking a terrible trade, and Vinsmoke is expecting Abumon to stop trading against it. But Sasa's taking full advantage of this lane. He's 2v1ing very, very well, and now that Abumon is below 50% HP, he's forced to recall, and Sasa is going to make him lose a siege minion.
That's going to be huge. I really don't know why Abumon went and continued for that fight. Yes, you have a lot of damage with the passive, but Sasa has Inspire, and now here comes Box. They're going to go on top of Vinsmoke. Not enough damage to finish him off, but here comes Hate as well, and that's going to zone SUHAZ completely off the orange buff.
Yep, despite Boxia being really boring, his clear speed is still rather ridiculous. He's already level 3, and they slowed down Ryzen. Box is already level 4, and Ryzen only hit his level 3. And there's no way he's going to get this, right? Yep, Box is able to get that orange buff just in time, but Zyme Senpai might actually have to pay the price. Vinsmoke, does he have the Iron Hook? No, he does not. They just back away.
Team SMG just claims the enemy buff without any cost in return. Yes, Zyme Senpai loses some HP, but you don't want that to be the only thing you get in return for an invade like that. Looking at the overall emblem sets, nothing too out of the ordinary. A Box with Demon Slayer is going to amplify his farm even further, because SUHAZ has a lot of movement speed as well to try and kite Team SMG.
Yeah, but right now Smooth is able to take so much damage. Ryzen unable to do much as Box is able to intercept the gank. C3 Norsana will now have to continue his fight against Smooth, who even pops his sprint to make this happen. He costed himself his life. An unnecessary turnaround, but C3 Norsana, fast fingers, also pops his sprint.
That's quite strange from Smooth. He doesn't usually make mistakes like that, but Team SMG are still going full speed, instantly stealing away the purple buff. This could be the start of something terrible here. We've already seen what Team SMG can do against a Ling when they went up against Team Hawk last week.
Yep, Smooth now back into lane with Boxy nearby on the River Crab. Ryzen unfortunately hasn't hit his level 4 just yet, as Zyme Senpai is making sure he's keeping him in check. Hate getting control over the lane is great right now, but Yves caught out of position in the mid lane. Oxygen trying to get out of there. The flicker comes on through, and that's going to be Hate picking up the kill.
Team SMG are playing hard and fast right now. They know that they have a strong early game lineup with these 3 tanky heroes, and so they're not going to let SUHAZ Esports have any chance to breathe. And because of all this attention that Box and Zyme Senpai are buying, Sasa is having a free lane.
Oh wait, speaking of which, the flicker coming in from Vinsmoke. Sasa is locked down by the Bloody Hunt. Can he get the crossbow of Tank off in time? Manages to get protection as Abumon pays the price.
Oh, that's gotta be rough there. That was a flicker Bloody Hunt from Vinsmoke, and they still didn't get the kill and then lost Abumon in return. That is basically the worst way that trade could have went for SUHAZ Esports. And in 3 minutes, Team SMG have already amassed a 2.9k net worth lead.
Feels kind of good because Zyme Senpai managed to get there just in time to get his passive off to ensure that Sasa doesn't die with the extra bit of shield. Now, let's see, SMG just going to camp every single buff here, and this purple is the most important as Box is 3 levels up. C3 Norsana doesn't want to go into the middle of that fight, but Team SMG slowly creep into it. Vinsmoke misses his Iron Hook, and now the timing is clear. Zyme Senpai getting into the middle of that fight as the Tortoise Poissons is already dropped on the floor, and it's going to to be the ult from Lolita that scores that kill onto Vinsmoke as Hate capitalizes on it. CT Norsana jumps in the middle, but Hate takes his black shoes. Good timing. Real war manipulation, not doing too much, but Zyme Senpai now in some trouble. CT Norsana wants to get the kill, but can't. He just can't.
Team SMG is just completely trading up in every engagement right now, stealing the purple buff, getting a kill, walking out with no casualties right when the turtle spawns. They are growing their snowball at an incredible pace, and SUHAZ Esports are in a really tough spot. They really have no way of dealing with the dive composition from Team SMG because this Franco is too single target.
Yep, it's a little unfortunate. He really has to hit these important hooks. He can't just pick and choose. He has to target the damage dealers. Now, Abumon is facing Box off here on the top side of the map. Vinsmoke, no Iron Hook, which does give the green light as Hate already rotating in for this fight. Ryzen is hovering nearby, but he's not sure whether to go in as Vinsmoke takes the punishment from the rest of Team SMG. He goes down, and that's going to be top tier 1. Going over to Team SMG.
You could see that the way Team SMG is positioning is just not giving any opportunities to SUHAZ. And now Razin nearly getting taken out by Smooth, who is also 2 levels up on the Ling right now. The jungler on SUHAZ Esports has not been able to play the game at all. And Team SMG, they are not putting any brakes on this train.
After after Smooth dying to Esmeralda down on bot side after a small mistake, now taking full advantage and recovered even. He's ahead. Now they're going to be taking away the purple buff once more. Box just denying space and time, and Ryzen just falling further and further behind.
Team SMG are so good at this. It basically is giving a message to every other team. Don't pick Ling into us. We know exactly how to bully you out of submission here. And now they're even targeting CD Norsana. Numenon Blast gonna force the sprint in the other direction as the Iron Hook is blocked by the Guardian's Bulwark. Another tower falls to SMG.
Yep, 2 key items. It's going to be the Dominance Ice from Zyme Senpai and a Demon Hunter Sword coming in from Sasa. These are very big items with the 5k lead that they've developed over 6 minutes and 32 seconds. SUHAZ, I think they've got one more timing left to try and even the score, and that's going to be Eternal Sign, but I think Ryzen, he's just so far behind.
They are way too far behind right now, and SUHAZ Esports is a very late game team. Here comes Smooth again, Thunderclap forcing out the Tempest Ablaze. Razin cannot take even the orange buff now. Team SMG are starving SUHAZ Esports.
Yeah, this is quite a brutal game to watch here. SUHAZ are getting absolutely decimated right now, and unless they take a coin flip somewhere, somehow, this is just going to be a slow death as Team SMG wraps around their necks.
This is going to be pretty rough for them right now. Razin trying to get as much farm as he can wherever he is on the map, even behind Abumon in terms of levels. You never want to be in that situation. Oh, Vinsmoke actually did get a hook, but that's on Box. 2-man falling Star Moon doesn't mean anything. No damage from SUHAZ Esports as Smooth comes in from the backline. They want this purple buff. Razin, I don't know if he got it, but he's already dead, so it doesn't matter. The real manipulation doing no damage at all. Team SMG just easily walks away.
What a brutal game this is. The Numenon Blast landing on 3 targets and Razin getting bursted down as soon as the Numenon Blast is confirmed. A stun. They've unlocked the lanes. Mid lane is down. SUHAZ Esports, this is going to be a really difficult recovery.
This is a full dismantling right here. If you look at the gold ranking, it's nearly split completely in half. Zyme Senpai, the least net worth on Team SMG, is ahead of 2 cores on SUHAZ Esports, and the rest are just miles ahead of their counterparts. They're gonna continue doing this until the end of time, basically.
Yeah, and in Team SMG, they have full control. They can decide not to take a fight. They can decide to take a fight. I mean, SUHAZ Esports right now can't really breathe in their own jungle. Nowhere is safe, and with no tier 1s, even Razin is forced to use his ult. He's not able to take his orange buff in time. Smooth continuing the oppression.
At the very least, CT Norsana is the one that gets the orange buff away, so it still goes to SUHAZ. But Team SMG, they have one goal, and that is to make Razin's life miserable. The Ling has nothing he's getting no chance to farm, no chance to scale up. So everything's gonna come down to Abumon and City Norsana to actually do the DPS.
I mean, Oxygen needs a little bit, honestly, he needs a lot more time. I think he needs about 4 minutes before he gets enough items to make a difference, but Team SMG, they can just decide to, wait, Sasa, he's going even more for it. He's getting really confident here.
We have to note Sasa's already level 11. I didn't quite see how many items he has right now, but it's probably that he has completed at least 2. And at this point, 1-1 is in a very comfortable state to just walk up ahead because SUHAZ doesn't have enough damage to burst him down before he can safely get off the crossbow of Tang. Lord going over, Smooth in danger. He might actually go down here.
Yep, he finally goes down. His box looks for the return kill as City Norsana pops his sprint to get on out of there. SUHAZ find 1 in return, but the death timers are really short here, and Team SMG can slow push this as Smooth is going to recover in 15 seconds and make his way. He has to spend another 20 seconds running down the lane.
But you can see that the way Team SFG are currently balancing out the waves. We know that the Lord is actually going to take a while before he collides into the inhibitor. And the AI already 80% predicting that SMG is going to walk away with the victory.
Yep, I mean, the timings are really good from Team SMG. They have an 8.8k gold lead. They almost had a perfect game, but a couple of deaths ruined it all. So they look to crack open these tier 2s. Mid is going to start falling very, very soon.
SUHAZ are able to clear up that wave, but look at the way that SMG has synchronized these lanes. They have to defend every single one at the same time. They will most likely take all the external towers, and they're challenging the inhibitor now. Real world manipulation coming out, forcing out the black shoes. City Norsana still alive. Sasa just breaking down the inhibitor, already going to the side of Team SMG, and they just back off.
This has been really good by Team SMG. A 10k gold lead as Senpai puts up the Guardian's Bulwark to block the Iron Hook. I think this is checkmate here by Team SMG. It's so hard for them to lose from this position.
They're now trying to go for another inhibitor. Box jumping in with the shield unity, finds City Norsana, but he's just buying space. Iron Hook misses completely. Numenon Blast finds City Norsana and Razin on the side. He did not expect that. Crossbow of Tang on top of Vinsmoke. He runs to the base in time to survive all of that. But Team SMG are fully in their base. No minion wave to take the top inhibitor, sadly. Iron Hook gonna finally land onto the Lilia, but that's the worst person you want to look for. He goes down. Abumon taking a lot of damage in the base as Team SMG are just oppressing SUHAZ, taking down their crystal, and nothing they can do about it.
GG, well played. Going over to Team SMG, a clean 12-minute game here. Very nicely done, clinical from Team SMG.
I don't know what to say.